decided a long time ago to homeschool. And it was really because we knew, and if you're paying attention today, certainly this is true, we could give them a much better spiritual and academic schooling than California's public schools. The challenge came, though, when she was diagnosed. And it's amazing that, I mean, just that story is incredible, that she was, when we went in, she had 34 lymph nodes infected and what the doctors call the most advanced localized case of cancer they'd ever seen. And yet, through that and through 4 years of treatment, she was brave and strong and courageous and purposed in her heart to teach them not just about school, but about God and about who Jesus is to us, so that when August 15th comes, they realize that it's okay. And she did an amazing job. I wish that I had Jesus that deep, as my kids. But it was an amazing transition from that to this. We only had a week or maybe two that we really contemplated, should we actually send them to a school? Should we not? And what are the choices? There was only one choice for us, and it was the Rock Academy. And only because, we'd heard about through Rock TV about how good it was academically, but for us it was spiritual. What are they going to get? I don't want them to be socially indoctrinated, We want them to learn more about Jesus. And we thought, and we just knew in our hearts that the only school that could do that could pick up where she left off, was the Rock Academy. I was in a daze. The kids were going bonkers like crazy, as usual. We'd go into the office, we saw Autumn, we saw Jennifer, and they had to take assessment tests. Christian goes one way, Evan goes the other way, and I think Evan was testing for 4th grade and 3rd, which was better for him. And I met with Dr. Andujo, and we sat there talking about financing. We talked about the reality that maybe it won't be available. We talked about the academics of the school, and just kind of waited for the kids to come back from their assessments. Christian came back. It was a breeze for him, but my oldest son, who doesn't like to write, had to write a paper. And poor Mrs. Watson, she was the 4th grade teacher who was there. I don't know that she knew what had happened the day before, but his first sentence in the paper was, "My mom died yesterday." She handled it so well. She did so well. But they came in and we talked about it. Everything was fine as far as the kids went academically. And Dr. Andujo just said, "Look, I'll do what I can, no promises. But what I really think needs to happen this year for those kids is they need to be ministered to more than anything else." And I don't know if you saw it, but tears just kind of went down, and I thought, that's exactly what they need. So we left, and while the next week for me was filled with memorial service stuff, I had to buy a plot of land, all the stuff that goes with it, I just prayed, and God had given me such peace about it. For some reason, I just knew that something was going to happen. And a week later, I got an envelope with paperwork for Evan and Christian, and it said, "Your sons have been accepted." For what I could pay, everything else is going to be handled. And it blew me away. It still does. So they're here now. They're at the Rock Academy, and things could have been so different. I watch them every day. I bring them to school. 7:05, we're here. 2:30, I pick them up, and they smile at 7:05, and they smile at 2:30. God put them in the hands of two wonderful young women Miss Beck and Mrs. Bison, who have, as far as I can tell, reached into their hearts and given them a second home here at school. And it's an amazing blessing to me. But really, all of that became possible because of the people who God put it on their hearts to give, you know. And the Bible says, I've heard, and maybe you've heard it too, the Bible says that God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, you know. But he didn't sell cattle, you know, to get my kids in school. He just asked people to be generous, and they were, you know. And for that, I will try to hold it together, but for that, I'll always be grateful. You know, I don't know if they realize the amazing impact that they've had on me and my boys. So, I guess if I would say anything to them, it would be thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will pray always that God blesses you back for that.